looks like we're entering into game number 4 of this 2v2 matchup. Ooh, a Mongol match. So we've got Salami playing as Mongols, Grubby as HRE, Crackety as Mongols, and Legrand playing as the Delhi. Let's see where these Mongols decide to place their main TCs. Last game we saw an awesome placement for the TC from Beastie. This seems to be pretty good too. Most Mongol players I've noticed decide to tuck it in between the gold and the wood line. Perfect in that section. Legrand playing as the Delhi out on the western side. Also, it looks like Grubby playing as HRE, and already the Khan is out and about doing some damage, being annoying as per usual. Once that prelate gets out there though, any damage that the Khan does literally 2 damage like per hit. So it just takes a really long time for it to do anything significant. And that prelate's gonna go out there, heal up those villagers, then go back to the TC, go back and forth. So it's just gonna be a lot of wasted time, in my opinion. For Crackety, the also similar placement for this Mongol player, but their Uvu is a little bit more forward than Salami's Uvu. So it's more exposed, but that's okay. Also, thank you so much for the hydrate as well, guys. I'll drink some water. Grubby has some pretty good. We'll see where Grubby decides to place his Aachen Chapel, just because that's oh wow, okay, so decides to go close to the back wood line. It's gonna be in range for these berries as well. This is a drop-off point. Remember, this is a drop-off point now instead of just like a building. You can actually drop things off. Prelate over here gonna fend off some of this harassment coming in from Legrand. Legrand being a little bit more aggressive this game, and it seems like the Khan from Salami is heading back towards the base. I will say this is awesome for Crackety, just because as a Mongol player, you're kind of exposed anyway. You can't build any palisade walls, so this is kind of nice because any units that come in from this backside is going to be under the fire of the TC. And same with the gold here, whereas Salami's base is just a little bit more, has more openings on both sides, and isn't necessarily like the most secure comparatively. Deerstone's going down from Salami. Legrand also going down with Dome of Faith, and we probably have Crackety is not going up to feudal just yet. Uvu seems to be under fire from Legrand, spotting that out. No military units from either Mongol player. Very refreshing. I don't like a Mongol rush. Also, the prediction is up for those of you in chat right now. Oh, that's just kidding. I hold my tongue. I was like, oh, I don't see any like aggressive behavior. Crackety is being aggressive, trying to get off a tower rush. Only sent out 1 villager though, spotted out by several of the scouts. Gonna be taking care of him. And tower rush against the HRE is so annoying. And also it looks like a little bit of sheep love coming in from Salami. Donating a sheep to his teammate Grubby. So that tower rush was definitely denied. Another Khan making their way out across the map. I don't see any, and there is 1 other scout. So no other villagers over there doing a little bit of tower rushing, but otherwise I think Grubby has a pretty secure location. Food is under the TC. Woodline also kind of under the fire of the TC as well. Salami did make it up to the feudal age. Grubby's up to feudal, and Grand is up to feudal as well. I'm not sure. Oh, it looks like we're going Silver Tree for Crackety. Silver Tree simultaneously with a stable. So no Mangudai. And Salami gonna be able to fend off this Khan, and it looks like our answer. And our answer today for the question asked by Mikkel is Salami is the greater Khan in this situation. So Crackety's Khan went down. And Crackety's also reached the feudal age. Stable is placed down, so no Mangudai out on the field just yet. I really like this teamwork between Salami and Grubby. Salami technically, like when you play as Mongol, you technically get a free scout all the time as a Khan. So doing a little bit of guarding in this secret forest right here is going to be key, just to prevent any second tower rush. But it looks like Burgrave Palace going down at the 637 mark. Look at that fast castle coming out from Grubby, and he's also getting wood at the same time. So really strong fast castle for this player. I'm gonna go back to this observer. I'm really scared that I'm gonna lose the observer UI, and I don't want to lose it. Oh man. Once again, we've seen the strat before. Salami is just donating food to this player, especially when you are as, you know, Mongols. You can use pastures. No pastures out for Salami just yet, but you can have pastures, make your own food. So it looks like he's donating all the food back for oh no, Scout got out of range. Scout seems to be trying to take out several of these deers. Tower did get placed down from Crackety up north. Not super close, but did try to protect over this deer grouping. But professional scouts out for Salami, delivering deer to the doorstep of Grubby, gonna support the Burgrave Palace eco that is needed. Tower rush did come through from Crackety. Wasn't able to sit on the front line. Men-at-Arms are spawning out from that Burgrave Palace. I think that Grubby's just gonna ignore it for now, because it isn't really in the range of any of his villagers. His villagers can skirt around this way. This one might get in the way. We'll see if this one gets in the way once those emplacements on the outpost come through. I do see here a little bit of yelling out in the forest. So Legrand did send out several of those horsemen, is securing the center sacred site, playing as Delhi. So there will be scholars out on the map, and securing those sacred sites is really key for a Delhi player. I will say there are a lot of relics out here on the map as well. Prelates and scholars can secure those guys up quickly, but I'm not sure what the plan will be in terms of that. Also, that scout has been really going on Salami's Uvu for like pretty much the whole game. First sacred site being secured by Legrand as well. And I see a little sneaky sneak of Men-at-Arms marching their way across the map towards Crackety's base. Wow, just going straight for it. Also, he is trading Silver Tree. I don't know where they're going here. Crackety is trying to get into a little bit of a skiff with Grubby's Men-at-Arms. The Men-at-Arms denying that sacred site takeover. Also, Men-at-Arms here going for that Uvu, going under the TC, taking out several of those villagers hopping in. Looks like he's trying to trade along the bottom edge of the map. So if that gets spotted out by the enemy, that's going to be cleaned up, and not good positioning for Crackety, who wants to trade. Ooh, I see a lot of horsemen also and spears out on the map coming from Legrand. There is not a max amount of relics. Relics can be grabbed by anyone. Just basically, like Mikkel's saying, like as many as the map has, you just need to like make either more mosques, or if you're HRE, you can put your relics in a tower or a keep. And here we go, battle on the front lines between all these men-at-arms. Grubby has a really big military right now, stronger military. These horsemen, though, there's just a bigger mass. So the mass from Crackety and Legrand are gonna try to fend these off a lot. We need some Lance Connects mixed in there. Maybe some Lance Connects, maybe some spears. But these guys are holding on really well. This is just a bad trade in general, because like even if you have a bigger amount, like Crackety literally lost most of the military in this situation, and these guys still have over half health. Almost all of them have over half health. It looks like Scholar is also being taken out, tower getting placed down, and there's more men-at-arms marching their way across the map. So you guys can see the trail on the mini map of Grubby's group coming down, and so most of, I think, the teams are really communicating with each other, especially as like Salami and Grubby. I know Grubby is on, they're both talking on Discord or whatnot. And most of the food has been supplied by Salami. And so Grubby can keep up this huge military production. And I hear the sound going off for Salami, able to go up to Castle Age at this point. None of the players besides Grubby are up in Castle Age. Castle Age, Grubby moving his military up and over towards our Delhi player, Legrand. So he seems to be leaving Crackety alone. Crackety is pretty weak at this point, and I think he's going to do a little bit more harassment to the stronger player, which is Legrand, who is not looking, has a pretty good balance, but is trying to go up to Castle Age right now, and unfortunately has used all of his eco to go up to Castle Age. And this is where you're kind of like, do I go up, do I not? And it can't invest in like stronger units, so a lot of those villagers spotted out by several of the men-at-arms moving their way across the main base of Legrand, just doing a lot of harassment, preventing anything from going up. And I think there's like, let's see, 3 military production buildings from Legrand. Once Legrand gets up to Castle, which he's gonna hear, he spots it out. He's gonna be able to get some crossbowmen out there to defend. We do see a couple of the professional scouts out for Salami right now. And I just hear a lot. Oh, military. What is this? This is a house getting sieged down. Another big group. Let's see. There were yellow. Yeah, more men-at-arms in the base of Crackety. So her Grubby and Salami are doing double harassment. Especially Grubby is harassing both players on both fronts. I want them to spot out this trade, because if this trade can get denied just a little bit, it'll be really hard to catch up. It looks like both players are trying to... Oh, insufficient wood! Trying to siege this down before any elephants get out. Yeah, Grubby's got a lot of men-at-arms, though. Also, more men-at-arms streaming out across the map. Going to be pushing in towards Crackety. Legrand is moving back the small military that they have towards that base. I think really Grubby has to focus and siege this down before that second, those crossbowmen get out. Has to be careful about that. Also, I hear Imperial sounds go off for Grubby if he would like to go up. And it looks like he's going up with the Palace of Swabia. All right, all players just got up to Castle. Going up to Imperial is going to be able to defend this really, really well, this economy. And like no one has touched his base besides like a couple of those towers. So men-at-arms are continuing to siege down this top corner of Legrand's base. He did not rebuild, was very low on wood and unable to rebuild a second archery range for the tower elephant. And there's a lot of scholars out doing a little bit of healing. New age has started for Grubby. Grubby has men-at-arms out at the center of the map, is taking back that sacred site. Man, the players have to spot out that trade from Crackety though, because Crackety is gonna go up on the gold in a bit. I'm also drinking an energy drink, guys. Alani Nu energy drink. All right, I don't know what Salami's up to with these masses of scouts, but I do see Uvu is technically depleted and one relic out on the map. Oh, Kurultai is denied by Salami, totally stuck there and gonna be sieged down by several of these scouts right now. Sheep just watching on peacefully. And it seems like Crackety has responded to Grubby's men-at-arms with a like group of 14 crossbowmen. And this is what you don't want to see when you're playing as a military like this. I see all these blue dots running across the field. So let's see, Crackety has been allowed to build 3 or 4, yeah, 4 military production buildings, which are going to be sending out crossbowmen out to the main base of Grubby. Luckily, Salami was there as a scout to spot out that Kurultai, which is going to be denied, totally burned up at this point. And then several of those crossbowmen are like coming up on the backside and trying to defend that. So I think what Salami's going to have to do at this point is start making more military units. I'm not sure if more military units are going to come out from them, but we need some mangonels or something to take out these ranged units. Because Crackety has been allowed to build up a pretty big military. So I'm going to look over here where Crackety's at with military. We're at a military of 31 right now. Military of 31. Most of them are crossbowmen. Kurultai is going to be repaired. Remember, so this is like the healing thing, but it's mobile. So as if you're playing as what am I saying? If you're playing as the Mongols, like you can obviously move your units around. Ooh, and we do have, yeah, this is not looking good now for Grubby. Grubby is trying to respond a little bit. We need some like archers or mangonels or something like that. Otherwise, these guys are going to be able to push in and clean up any of these men-at-arms that they're making their way over there. That's just they're asking for a death wish. Hand cannoneers, though, out for Grubby. So that's good. We need some ranged units. I see the arrow slits are the, what is that called? From the Khan. Where is the Khan? Is the Khan in there? Oh yeah, he's just standing in there. So that was the attack speed. Makes them shoot a little bit faster. And archery ranges getting placed down in response by Grubby. Grubby trying, yeah, so that's what I said. So like those archery rangers need to get placed down because that's going to be the best defense, like having those ranged units against those crossbowmen. And it looks like Salami has sent out a mangonel, which we need, or they need, to defend against this mass of crossbowmen, since really men-at-arms aren't going to be able to do a lot of damage here. Crackety did resecure the center sacred site, though. I can see the color. And he's going to be pushed out of the map. Does see that mangonel coming his way and decides not to take the battle at this point in with his military size. Ooh, Grubby did place down a keep. There's so many scholars out for Legrand, though. Has these scholars just like keeping these elephants just like infinitely healthy? And Grubby is pushing towards the center sacred site right now. Now has a mix of Lanchknechts, men-at-arms, and hand cannoneers blasting through this wall once again. This trade is still untouched. Crackety is going to be booming in the gold in just a little bit. Did make the investment on the front end, but will be able to get like a lot of gold especially towards like the later part of the game. And Grubby is neutralizing that center sacred site. All 3 players besides Grubby are still in the castle age, though, so it seems like people are saving up to get to the next stage. and more elephants out on the map for Legrand. Legrand is at a military of 28, eco of 55. This is still working. This is still working. I'm gonna go back to the observer UI. Hi, Lidocore. It's not working anymore. So we're gonna go back to this. We're gonna go back. I don't know why it keeps pausing. And elephants have made their way into Salami's base. Salami has been rather conservative in this game with building out like military units, so his base is rather open. It's going to be pulling back some of those pastures, but we've got a lot of scholars out on the map. A lot of scholars from Legrand. And Grubby coming up to defend. Hand cannoneers, this is great. Most of those scholars are going to get taken out. They're totally exposed away from their elephants. I don't think one of those scholars is at all going to survive this. Elephants trying to run away. They are really slow units though, so not going to actually be able to stop this onslaught from Grubby. And Grubby's got hand cannoneers too, and it's like if you can't have a bombard, you might as well have a group of hand cannoneers to take out some of those elephants. Yeah, those elephants are not looking like they're in a good spot right now. Sacred Site also being secured by Legrand at the same time, but I think all of that elephant investment that he made, Lanchkonex surrounding, Lanchkonex and Men-at-Arms taking that guy out. So all three elephants are going down, and that push towards Salami's base was not successful. Two more siege workshops also getting placed down by Salami. Salami seems to have been supplying a lot of the siege in this game. I think this is like interesting team play. Grubby's making, you know, units that are on the ground, and then siege getting built up by Salami right now. We see Legrand placing down a wall. I don't know how helpful this will be, if this wall will even get up all the way, but stone wall is getting placed down. Probably to keep out any of those raids that are coming in from Salami. And Center Sacred Site, once again, has been recaptured. I don't know if it's originally captured, but it is captured by Grubby now. Oh, wait. Okay, siege workshops getting pulled to the front lines for Salami. Salami has mangonels, springald's, and a group of 4 trebuchets. Taking down this wall, allowing for a very small, narrow opening. So I don't know why it's like a very narrow opening. And Grubby has swung around from the northern side and is in the base of Legrand, chasing after that elephant. Legrand sitting at a military of 14 right now, is very low on the units. Whereas if we check in with Grubby, Grubby is almost at population capacity, military of 63. These are tanky units. He's had time to get all the upgrades, whereas Crackety just reached Imperial Age. It doesn't have that time to get all those upgrades. Also, you know, he's in Legrand's base, who's playing as Delhi, doesn't have a lot of military production buildings, only has 3 military production buildings right now, and this is not looking good for Legrand. Salami coming up the back end with a big group of siege, and is protecting that siege as well. Protecting the siege with his own siege. Looks like Grubby is pulling back towards trying to pull back Crackety's units towards those mangonels, trying to bait them in. This is why those mangonels are super, super needed, especially when you're playing as HRE, because if you have a big group of crossbowmen, you need to defend against them. So mangonels pushing a little bit forward. Grubby seems to be placing down a forward keep. If he can get this up, Legrand is probably not going to be able to recover very well from this unless Crackety pulls this off. Trade still going really, really strong for Crackety though. Crackety has trade for days. Doesn't even need to mine gold anymore. So that income is all focused more on the food and wood than gold, since he's got so much trade. Mangonel seem to be trying to find a place to reset up. Villagers trying to get down that keep. We'll see if that gets up all the way. We have 3 Springalds from Crackety right now. Those Springalds are trying to hit out some of those Mangonels. Mangonel's still producing out from... Look at all this siege. He's got 1 for Trebs, 1 for Mangoes, and 1 for Springalds. And so also Step Ridout is moved to the front lines as well. So it seems like they're setting up a forward base in the base of Legrand. Both landmarks from Legrand have been taken out. Crackety is doing their best to defend the teammate. And most of the villagers have moved to the southern side of the base and are building out some of the military production buildings. I think there's some spears getting queued up. Nothing actually just yet. There is 1 more elephant out here on the map, but Salami and Grubby are holding this line here. Grubby's eco still looking pretty strong. Is at a population capacity, does have more archery ranges being built, and you just see the stream of yellow on their way across the map towards the base of Legrand. Man, these Trebs just doing distance work, taking out the houses, taking out the farms. All of the landmarks have been taken down. I think all of the landmarks, yeah. All 3 of the landmarks have been taken out for Legrand. So Legrand is looking relatively low. Eco of 51. Remember, if you're playing a team game, all of the, like, it doesn't matter if all the landmarks of your team are taken out. If you have 1 teammate that's still alive, you'll still be able to live as well. Yeah, Salami is showing to be like pretty strong strategist for these 2v2 games. I'm like really excited for ranked 2v2 ranked to come out because I want to see some of these players like team up in the long run. And this is awesome. Basically, feed the HRE beast. You focus on wood and like on siege. Like give all your food to your teammate and then focus on siege. I don't know, it seemed to work pretty well. Yeah, Legrand's entire base gets taken out. I would assume that both the players are going to work their way down south, see kind of the trail of purple, take out these military buildings. There are 3 elephants there now on the map. More bombards on the way as well. So Crackety really doing a lot of the military defense at this point. I think what'll win this game for Grubby and Salami is spotting out this trade. Like once that trade, like I've said in the beginning, that trade needs to be spotted out. If that trade is taken out, it loses, like Crackety loses all of their gold income, can't build siege. Because I don't even think he's mining gold right now. No, isn't even mining gold, only has this left like small gold here out on the map. So this is kind of like the last push. And so they're gonna be trying to take out that forward keep from Grubby. Grubby's military coming up on this western front, has some spears. Spears pushing in and heading straight towards the siege. Gonna be trying to clean that up. Siege from the eastern side with Salami. Salami's got siege on this side and siege on this side. So both the players are getting pinched in the middle. Really, if Grubby pulls around some of the military units, I think Grubby's bringing in more men-at-arms from this side. Has to be careful of these hand cannoneers and some of the crossbowmen. I'm gonna check on Crackety's eco though. Crackety's eco is great on gold, not great on the food front end. So if a lot of this military is cleaned up, it's gonna be hard to recover quickly, especially when your teammate Legrand is. Wait, that's Grubby. Legrand doesn't have an eco yet either, since eco is down to 45. Grubby's economy is freaking huge though. Look at this. Literally at 173, eco of 130. Actually could probably afford to delete some of those right now. Queued up a ton of units ton of units are queued up. They're just going to be spawning all the way across the map, trying to protect. I like how Salami is hanging back with the siege, staying out underneath the keep and waiting for Grubby to kind of bring out some of the military units to protect that siege. We do see Mangudai out here, which are just like really just annoying. So if you could get the Mangudai like underneath the keep, which is, I think it was what he's trying to do, then you could like basically take them all out. And that would be kind of like the best defense in this situation. I see a lot of emplacements coming in for Grubby as well. No one has spotted out that siege. It looks like Legrand has tried to wall up the siege right now. Or not the trade, not siege. Trade. Wall up the trade to defend that. Oh my gosh. Salami literally has a siege army. 22 siege units. Most of them siege army. Grubby rebuilding out the military, and it looks like they're pushing just a little bit forward. I think Crackety's trying to respond with Mangudai. I don't know where those guys are headed. Probably trying to head back into the base. All of those emplacements going off for Grubby though, and as his Mangudai run through a lot of these towers and keeps. Yeah, not all the emplacements are getting off just yet for Grubby, so he is trying to send them up to protect a lot of his units, but I think all those Mangudais now, it's like down to 15. And yeah, down to 15, military of 40. Most of the military is here back in the base. More Mangudai also coming out. Men-at-Arms heading straight towards those bombards, gonna try to take out the siege. And wow, Grubby is like, oh, tower rush? No. Oh, Siri's going off. Also tower rush, like, I don't know what, this is like tower farms everywhere. Towers pushing in towards that main base, and it looks like, oh, the Kurultai did get up once again, so it can heal up those units, but several of his men-at-arms taking out the bombards. That's a really big investment for Crackety. Crackety's eco is dwindling, whereas if we look at Grubby, Grubby's almost pod capped, still has a really strong economy. Wow. Like has so much queued up, ready to go, is still producing villagers, like reproducing villagers after some of those Mangudai got some off, but and then like look at the siege pushing in from Salami on the back end. Basically, Legrand is not going to have any way to build any military right now, and that's just going to be completely taken out. So Grubby's coming from this side, Salami's coming from the other side, and they're just making a sandwich in between both players. It's not like Legrand can't defend right now because Legrand's eco is really, really low, and down to a military of 7, eco of 20. Yeah, eco of 20, a couple bombards out on the way. Crackety is still trying to get up quickly. Let's see, income per minute. So Crackety has a strong economy, but is like obviously not floating resources. It's just taking time for him to catch up, probably more than Grubby, since Grubby has a lot of resources. And just what you guys asked for, more military production buildings coming down for Grubby. Probably hand cannoneers. We've got more barracks, so more men-at-arms, more Landsknechts just flooding into this side of the base. So I like how both players are like splitting up where they're coming in from. This is the sandwich that we wanted. Trebuchet sitting at the edge of the base, just peeking over the wall, gonna get one hit trying to take out that TC. TC gets whacked. Look at all of these guys. This is insane. Salami has an all siege army. All siege army proves to be successful in this game. More hand cannoneers, men-at-arms getting out for Grubby right now. That's awesome against the Mangudai versus other hand cannoneers as well. Ooh, it's looking like this game is about to end, and there is a tap out. All of the landmarks were destroyed for Crackety and Legrand. So Grubby and Salami will take the win.